The GhostCat F2.2 Pro is a full suspension, high performance powerhouse. It features some of the strongest e-bike brakes in the market with huge 203mm rotors and massive quad piston calipers, front and rear long travel suspension that makes most bumps feel practically non-existent, and a 52-volt 40-amp system paired with a special high torque motor that gives this bike over 140 Newton meters of torque and over 2,000 watts of power, so you can conquer almost any hill you can imagine. And best of all, using code MAX100, you can get this bike for just under $1,900. Today, we're going to take a look at the specs and components of the GhostCat F2.2 Pro, and then take it out for a ride where we test the top speed, hill climbing torque, and off-roading capabilities, where unfortunately, things take a turn for the worst.
This is an animal. Oh my god. Damn.
Let's jump right in.
Alright guys, let's go ahead and go over the specs and components of the GhostCat F2.2 Pro. Let's jump right in. Let's start at the top. Looks like we have these silver plastic and rubber handles. Very interesting looking. I haven't seen anything like this on other e-bikes before. XOD hydraulic disc brake levers. We're going to talk about these brakes in a second. These brakes are insane. Control panel with a simple minimalist looking display. We'll get into this in a second. 7-speed Shimano shifter. Horn button down here. Fairly loud. Same style grip on the other side, except if you guys notice, this is a full twist throttle. Here we have a dual crown fork with a preload and our compression adjustment. And it looks like the front fork also has these bumpers on it to prevent it from crushing the frame of the bike. A short style Neko stem. Moving on down, we've got this big, bright headlight in the front. Check out this headlight, guys. This thing is awesome. This headlight not only will allow you to be seen at night, but also to see at night. Some headlights are more of a be seen headlight. They're tiny, they're just there for other cars to see you. This one looks like it actually might help you see better at night. Moving on down, guys, check out this brake rotor. Look at this thing, 203mm brake rotors with quad piston hydraulic disc brake calipers. And these rotors, guys, are 3mm thick. Most rotors are 2mm, and these are extra thick, which means they won't get as hot and they are less likely to warp. Guys, I gotta say, these are some of the strongest stopping brakes I've ever experienced on an e-bike before. You guys are gonna see in a second just how strong these brakes are. Tires are 20 by 4-inch Chow Yang Big Daddy tires. Front fender only covers the back of the wheel, and that's fine because that's where most of the splashing happens anyway, and it does have a perfect amount of clearance for the frame itself. Only a tiny bit of flop here. And with this bike, you get a Rock Bros bag on top where you can put your phone and keys and wallet and whatever else you want in this small storage container. And this bag does fit nicely with the overall look of the bike. It doesn't look out of place at all. It's almost like having a little dashboard and center console for your e-bike. Comes with a rain cover inside, so you can put it right over the bag. And there's what the inside looks like. And this rain cover you could use for this bag, but you could also use it for the LCD screen. Moving on back, we've got a long, soft, squishy bench seat. This is a very big seat. It feels nice. You could sit further up front or further back if you want. And I would personally recommend sitting somewhere in the middle, maybe a little bit closer to the front, because this bike has so much torque. If you're sitting too far back, this front wheel does like to lift up, so be careful where you're sitting with this bike. Here's our giant rear suspension in the back. This is one of the best rear suspensions I've ever experienced on an e-bike. This is a D&M Burner ROP 2S, and we have 3 adjustments back here. One for the actual spring, compression adjustment up here, and we got a rebound adjustment down here. Another huge 203mm rotor in the back with the same high-power XD F3000 quad piston brake calip. And we got some rear foot pegs back here for your passenger, in case you happen to have one. These do fold up nicely and stay out of the way. And guys, look at the size of this motor. This motor is insane. This is a 1500 watt nominal geared hub motor. This motor is wound specifically for torque. This thing is insane. It is pretty heavy. There's a decent amount of weight in this back wheel. And the reason why is because there's a lot of copper, a lot of metal in this motor to produce all that torque. 7-speed Shimano transmission, Shimano Altis derailleur, and a medium-sized front chainring, and you can see that pedal assist sensor back there as well. Basic and functional Wellgo metal pedals. Kickstand is mounted in the center of the bike. And the one benefit about having a center-mounted kickstand is that it will prevent your bike from rolling backwards because the pedals, they cannot go back past the kickstand. Your bike will stop and it won't roll backwards because that kickstand will stop it. And here we have another plastic rear fender that doesn't go all the way over the wheel. It only goes up about halfway. So whatever gets splashed up from this tire is only gonna hit this top part right here. So you're still protected from mud splashing up. However, this part right here will get a little bit dirty. Here's our rear tail light, which does still light up when the lights are on. Battery on-off switch, charging port, and a USB port right over here. Supplied key to remove the battery, and to remove the battery, you want to put the key in, then turn it into the open position, and then from there you can push from the bottom, push the battery out, and easily remove it.
Yeah, it looks like this is a 20 amp hour, 1040 watt hour battery, and look at that, the max output is 50 amps.
And to put it back in, you throw the battery back on the mount, push it down until it's firmly seated, and then, very important, turn the key into the locked position, and you can remove it, and the battery won't go anywhere. This bike comes with a passively cooled 2 amp charger, which doesn't get too hot, only a little warm. And GhostCat is going to be sending out upgraded 3 amp chargers to all future and current customers. And in the near future, they're also going to be selling affordably priced extra batteries, and GhostCat is working on getting these batteries UL 2849 certified. And right in here, you're going to find the controller. We're going to open this panel up and take a look at that. And there's our 40 amp controller, which means that this bike will peak at about 2080 watts. The middle of the seat was between 33 to 34 inches from the ground. So for my 5'10" frame, getting on and off this bike was pretty easy, and while standing over the bike, I was able to keep my feet flat on the ground. Once you sit down on the bike, the suspension compresses quite a bit, making the bike feel much lower. So even if you are a smaller rider, you can comfortably sit on this bike and easily keep your feet flat on the ground. The suspension on this bike, especially in the rear, has an insane amount of travel, which will give you an incredibly soft ride over rough terrain. The front suspension also has a ton of travel, so much so that it sometimes bottoms out and can hit the front fender, causing the front fender to rub on the tire. Overall, I think this is a minor issue, but it could use some redesigning in order to enhance suspension fork clearance and to minimize overall flop. This bike is on the lighter side, coming in at only 85 pounds. This bike did have a lot of lean with the out-of-the-box length of the kickstand, so adjusting it was needed. But be careful, if you adjust it too long, it will hit the rear disc brake rotor. So because I couldn't adjust the kickstand as long as I wanted to, the bike still had a little bit more lean than I would have liked. Next up, let's go ahead and take a look at the control panel and the displays. So once you turn the battery on, you go ahead and hold the M button and it turns the bike on. As you can see, we've got our odometer, we've got a speedometer, and we've got the battery bar up top. Pedal assist levels go all the way up to level 5. You got your trip distance, your voltage, and your current, which changes obviously as you're accelerating. It's going to use a little bit more current. And then RM. Now in the online manual I found for the M5 display, it says that RM stands for remaining mileage. However, this number never changed for me throughout the ride, so I don't know if this works or not. But for me, it did nothing. And then we also have the time the system has been on. Now to get into the advanced settings, you go ahead and hold the up and down arrows and you get into your P settings. So the first one is just your back screen brightness. We just keep that all the way at 3. P2, mile or kilometers an hour. P6 is going to be your wheel size. I did change this to 23 for my performance tests. I did have it set to 22.8 at one point. Both of them worked just fine. You guys can make small adjustments to make sure that your speedometer is accurate. As you guys noticed, it goes straight back to the main menu. So let's go ahead and hold the up and down arrows again. And we go ahead and continue on where we left off. P8 is your speed limit. Go ahead and bring that all the way up to 100 to unlock the full top speed. And then you go to P12, which is your starting strength. You want to go all the way up to 5. Normally it's set to 3. And then P14, bring that all the way up to 25 to get the most amount of torque from this bike. And besides that, I wouldn't touch any other settings. Hold the up and down arrows again to get back to the main menu.
Next, let's take a look at GhostCat's website. So at one point, GhostCat was making a lower power 48 volt model similar to this one. They've learned a lot of lessons from that first bike, and now they're giving us this, the F2.2 1500 watt Pro, with way more power and better performance. So starting off at the top, they say free shipping. Very nice. And check this out. So if you guys live in Southern California, they will deliver this bike to you fully assembled. Looks like they do ship to Europe with an additional $350 charge. 1-year warranty on all major non-wear components. So for example, brake pads probably wouldn't be covered because those wear down. You can also get an optional 4-inch handlebar riser upgrade, which is recommended for riders who are over 6 feet tall. This bike comes in the blackout color that you guys see in the video, a two-tone black and white color where the rear swing arm is white along with white wheels, and a black and red color, same thing, red wheels, red swing arm. And GhostCat is going to be releasing more colors in the future, so stay tuned for that. This bike does come locked in at the 20 mile an hour max speed with 750 watts continuous power for Class 2 requirements. Advertised 52 miles of range and 35 mile an hour top speed. This bike uses 21700 cells. And like I mentioned, they are in the process of getting their battery UL 2849 certified. The motor that this bike comes with is a 1500 watt nominal XOFO motor, which peaks all the way up to 140 Newton meters of torque. And of course, 52 volts paired with a 40 amp controller is going to give you 2080 watts. Ride weight limit is 400 pounds. And you can check out GhostCat's social media on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So those are the specs and components of the GhostCat F2.2 Pro. Next, we're going to take it out on the road and see how it performs. Let's jump right in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are on an incredibly special e-bike today. This is the GhostCat F2.2 Pro. Currently, their strongest ever, most powerful e-bike. This thing peaks at just over 2,000 watts, 52 volts, 40 amp controller. And of course, we're going to start off the video with our main hill climb test. Now, the battery is fully freshly charged, and the cells are not cold yet, although today it is a little bit on the colder side. It's between 35 and 40 degrees. Let's go ahead and turn on our Savior heated gloves, make sure we're nice and toasty. Link in the description below. And of course, we're going to go up this hill, throttle only. We've gone ahead and unlocked the top speed, and we've also increased the starting strength. And I have a really good feeling about what we're about to see. But before we do that, I want to explain to you why the weather just changed and why I am missing my left brake lever. So I actually went into the settings and did a little bit more adjusting, and I think the P14 setting should have been set to 25 instead of 14. So what I'm going to be doing is redoing all the performance tests of this video
with the updated settings and seeing if it even makes a difference. If it does make a difference, you guys will see this updated version. And let's just quickly go over the settings that I changed. So if you go into the settings, the wheel size for these tests today, wheel size will be set to 23. P8 is the speed limit, which is set to 100. P12 is the starting strength, which is set to 5. And P14 we set to 25. Allegedly, that's going to give us a little bit more power. So what we're going to do first, because this is a fully freshly charged battery, as you guys can see, we have 57.8 volts. We're going to go ahead and first do some quick 0 to 20 tests. We'll find a mostly flat spot, bring it up to pedal assist 5. And by the way, guys, forecast right now, it is 50 degrees. I weigh 200 pounds. We did put 30 PSI into each tire. Without further ado, here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1, boom. 20. All right. And maybe we'll start all our reviews like this from now on. We'll just do a 0 to 20 and the main hill climb test while the battery is fully, freshly 100% charged. And now let's go ahead and do the main hill climb test. We'll come to a complete stop. Apologize for the trash cans. It is trash day. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Maybe I'll post up the old time and the new time. Right now we're looking pretty good. Still fast, still just as fast as last time. I don't know, maybe a little bit faster. I'm not sure. All right, so next up we're gonna do the downhill speed test. Let me guys show you the free spinning zero load max RPM. Looks like we got a max speed of about 40 miles an hour. We're gonna head down this hill. We'll get up to speed first and see what the top speed is down this hill. There we go, I'm ducked down. Visor is down. $37, all right. And now, guys, we're gonna head over to our steep hill climb test. We're gonna quickly switch it back to the first day's footage. Going up. Oh man, the suspension is unbelievable on this thing. We're gonna talk about that throughout today's ride. But before we move on to that, if you guys like videos like this, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you like it, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And if you don't like this video, if you don't like this bike for whatever reason, tell me in the comments. Tell me why you're mad. Follow me on social media, TikTok, Instagram. And I have 2 Facebook groups, High Speed E-Bikes, 40 miles an hour and over, and E-Bike Addicts, a safe space for us e-bike enthusiasts who like e-bikes just a little bit too much. We're headed up to our steep hill climb tests. And I'm gonna start testing the speeds of these e-bikes. And guys, we are back to our second day of test footage. We're gonna start off at this line. Throttle only, steep hill climb test. 3, 2, 1, go. Feels like it has stronger acceleration. Might be a little bit faster. By about 1 mile an hour. All right, maybe that setting did the trick. Yeah, buddy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we might have a little bit more power now. See? Gotta make sure you adjust the settings. And so now what we're gonna do is head on down to the top speed test site, but we're gonna go a slightly different route, and we're gonna go the other way. We'll still go both ways. And we're gonna just coast on down a long hill, which will help conserve battery life, so we get a full amount of power for the top speed test. See you guys when we get there. This bike is marketed as a high torque bike. So far, it seems like it's living up to that marketing. See if we can adjust the wheel size, make the speedometer more accurate. 22.8, let's try that. Yeah, it looks to be a little bit better now.
Next up, we're gonna go ahead and test out the brakes. And guys, the brakes on this thing are insane. 203mm rotors, quad piston calipers. The back lifts up if I'm not careful. I don't have to shift my weight at all, and the back lifts up. Here we go, hard braking, 3, 2, 1. Jesus. Let's do that again. 3, 2, 1. Jesus Christ. Whew. So the back lifted up, and then it sat down, and the front lifted up a bit. Wow. So the brakes on this thing are ridiculous. Probably some of the best e-bike brakes I've ever experienced. Another amazing highlight from this bike is the suspension. The front forks are okay. They're pretty good. They got a good amount of travel, but the back suspension is where it's at. Unbelievably soft and cushy and high travel suspension. You guys really have to experience it. I feel like I am riding on a cloud with the rear shocks. Insane amounts of travel. I can adjust the spring itself, I can adjust the rebound, I can adjust the compression. And so right now we've listed 3 things that this bike is incredible at. Torque, brakes, and suspension. And if you guys kind of can tell, this bike is all about performance. There's no fancy stuff on this bike. The team at GhostCat, they said, you know what? Let's give the people what they want. They want performance. They don't want flashy plastic bits that they have to spend money on. Why don't we give them performance instead? Let's give them an insane amount of power, amazing brakes, and amazing suspension. And that's what they did. Next up, we're gonna head on over to our top speed run, and we'll see how this bike performs. We're not gonna use up too much energy going down to that area. I wanna try and save as much battery life as possible. I really do like the place that I test top speed because it's nice and flat, more or less completely flat both ways, and we do go both ways, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason why is because that's going to negate a lot of the effects of wind and gravity. And so going down and back, full throttle, you take the average of your 2 top speeds, and that is the actual accurate top speed on flat ground. And just for your reference, I am 200 pounds with maybe about 15 pounds of clothes and gear on me. I am wearing a full face motorcycle helmet, so maybe that makes me a little bit more aerodynamic, and I do duck down. I do dip down to get even more aerodynamic. I need all the help I can get with my giant Slavic-sized head. Tires are decently quiet. Nothing wrong with them. The Chow Yang tread, they're like half street tread, half off-road tread. Pretty good all-around tires. I can actually see my voltage on this bike, so that's very nice. I'm not just going to be looking at the battery bar, which could mean anything. You can see the voltage of your battery, which is phenomenal. And you can also see the current, how many amps you're pulling. So right now we're pulling 35, 30, 34 amps. This display is not fancy at all. It kind of takes the same approach as the whole bike. Performance, and that's it. You want flashy stuff that you have to pay extra for, that doesn't make you go faster at all, you can go get a different bike. With this bike, you get performance, and that's what you want. Team at GhostCat, they know what people want. This is a California-based company, and they know what we want in this country, which is speed, and power, and maybe some range too. Now this battery is a decent size. It's not a huge battery, but the reason why they made it that size is because it keeps the weight of the bike down, and it keeps the cost of the bike at about $2,000. This isn't really a long-range e-bike out of the box. It's more of like, think of it kind of like that weekend sports car that you take out just for the weekend, just for a quick cruise around town, around your city, and then you bring it back in the garage. It's not the long-range hauler. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We're going to test the 0 to 20 and the top speed. We're on pedal assist 5. We'll wait for there to be no cars on the road. Keeping it safe, making sure we're on an open road. And ladies and gentlemen, we are on our top speed testing ground. As you guys can probably tell, we are on the other side where we normally finish and turn around and head back. We're gonna do it the opposite way. So I went this way to conserve a little bit more battery life. We've only traveled 3 miles since the beginning of this ride. To try and conserve as much battery life as possible, I went downhill, barely pedaling at all. Pedal assist 1 if I had to. And so here we go. Throttle only. 3, 2, 1, boom. Visor down, dipping down. Yeah, buddy, let's go. Let's go. Come on. $33. $34. All right, we're getting 34. $34. Let's do that again. Come to a complete stop. 34 one way. See what we get this way. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Throttle only. We're ducking down. $34. Still 34. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a 34-mile-an-hour bike. Now we'll test the off-roading, and I'm really looking forward to this. I don't feel any bumps at all in the back. Dear God, the suspension is so good. And the torque that this has, oh my God. Oh, it's a treat to ride off-road. This thing feels at home here. Dare I say, this is like a baby Suron. Here we go. Flying through those branches. Take our usual off-road course. We're gonna switch up the course. We're gonna do this off-road course and then turn around and do it all over again. This is the side of the road, of course, but there's a lot of bumps and roots and leaves and rocks that we can test out. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Oh, this is fantastic. I'm just floating over this. And the back, the travel is unbelievable. Here we go. We got some big bumps coming up. What bumps? Nothing. That was nothing. This thing feels right at home off-road. On the road, it's pretty good. Off-road, this is an animal. Jesus. All right. Oh.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh my God. Damn. Damn. Little bit of a fall. And I broke the handlebar. A little bit of a scrape right there as well. Now you guys know what this bike is like when it falls. Everything looks okay. And we'll continue on, because it's a beautiful day. Let's check my camera. Camera's good. Well, that wasn't too bad of a fall. Alright. See if everything works. Everything works just fine. So, that's the rear brake. That's missing now on this side. The handle is broken. This is actually the front brake, so I'm happy this broke. If I had to choose a brake handle to break, I'd rather have this one than the front, because the front is much more important. We're gonna head on back, guys. Who knows, maybe this thing is still decently rideable with just the front brake. We're not doing anything too crazy today. Let's continue on, guys. Test this off-roading performance. Even after a fall, this thing just gets up and just keeps going. Power, power, power. Oh yeah. Easy peasy. I'm just floating over this. These bumps might as well not even exist. But we're gonna continue this ride for a bit. Oh man, this is a lot of fun. That's ice. Guys, I can't believe we have ice right now. It's almost April. I want spring. I hear New York got a ton of snow. New Hampshire got a ton of snow. People put their skis away, and then all of a sudden it snows, and they're like, all right, let's go skiing again. New England weather, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys. Well, we got our important test done right before our unfortunate fall. And now we're just going to ride around for a bit and enjoy the bike. I think I banged up my knee a little bit. I feel some kind of bruise. Oh well. Currently, we are pulling 35 amps of current. Haha, see what I did there? And we're just cruising up. This is going uphill. Very mild incline. 32 miles an hour. I can still kind of use the the rear brake. Yeah, I can still use the brake a little bit. See this? Got a little bit of rear brake. Again, that front brake is really what's most important. Yep, we got plenty of brakes, guys. We're good. Dropping off these curbs. Whew, like butter. Riding on someone's yard like butter. Try not to do that, guys. This thing is nice and zippy, maneuverable. Those 20 by 4-inch size wheels gives you good maneuverability around whatever you need. I do appreciate that this bike is very lightweight. Like I said, it's like a little sports car. It's like a tiny little dirt bike. Little baby Suron. If I took this off some jumps, I think it would feel right at home. Alrighty. Well, let's go, drone. Guys, it's just eating all this up like it's nothing. Ah, we lost the drone. Let's go find our drone, guys. Poor thing is all by itself out here all alone in the cold. There you are. Come on, buddy. We're gonna climb some big hills, guys. All right, so there's this giant hill coming up. I'm gonna try and get up on the side of it to show you guys how steep it is. That's pretty steep. Good amount of slope to that. We're gonna climb up this throttle only. And we're gonna start at the base first. See how it does. Throttle only, giant hill climb test. See how it performs. Here we go. Ah, I couldn't make it. It'd be nice to have a rear brake right about now. Safety last, guys. So we'll switch it to the lowest gear. And now we'll give it a little bit of a rolling start. We'll start back here. Give it some speed. And if we get stuck, we'll just pedal. Currently, we're at 53.3 volts. All right, here we go. Rolling start. Give it at least 20 mile an hour start. Ah, no, I can't do it. Whoa. It is wheeling on me, that's for sure. Really be nice to have a rear brake right now. Oh, this drone is not having it today. Man, this review ride is something, isn't it, folks? Drone is falling. I'm falling. Are you okay? Let's try that one more time. Look how nice this bike looks, guys. Looks awesome. One more time. A little bit windy today. Maybe that's what it's struggling with. All right. Think it's coming. Little mini dirt bike. I am a terrible drone parent, by the way. I don't think this drone can keep up, especially in the wind. I don't even know where it is right now. Yeah, wind disturbance. Just don't want to run it over. You poor guy. I'm just bullying you today. Moving on. The front fender is slapping a little bit on the frame. If you guys hear that noise, there's a little bit of flop to this front fender right here. So it slaps either the wheel or it Slaps this area right here. I tightened it down, but you know, just the nature of this style of fender, it's gonna flop around a bit. Man, this thing has so much torque. If you pedal, if you add some leg power with this, wow, it is so torquey. And let's go ahead and test the suspension on the infamous sidewalk in my town, aka the surface of the moon. And there's just insane amounts of travel in the back. Everything feels smoothed out. The rear suspension, it's like a Cadillac. I do hear that front fender vibrating a bit, but the suspension eats everything up. Let's check out the pedal assist levels on this bike. So, pedal assist level 1. We're ghost pedaling right now. See where we get. It's like it gives us 12 miles an hour, pedal assist level 1. That's a nice, easy cruising speed. Let's say you happen to be on a pedestrian walkway. You don't want to be flying by little old ladies with their tiny little dogs going 35 miles an hour. You want to be respectful. That would be the level you'd be at. Level 1, just chilling, cruising around. Let's check out pedal assist 2. Wow, pedal assist 2 brings us 26 miles an hour. Okay. That's pretty quick for pedal assist 2. Pedal assist 3. Ghost pedaling. 28 miles an hour. Yeah, still 28 miles an hour. Pedal assist 4. Turning radius. Again, because of those bumpers, it is slightly limited, but it's not going to interfere at all during your riding experience. Only when you're trying to maneuver the bike if you're off the bike. Let's say you're trying to turn it around a corner in your house, in your garage. It's got a little bit of a larger turning radius, but it's not too big of a deal. You can always just go ahead and lift the bike up. Because it's so lightweight, you can maneuver around that way. Currently, we're at almost 10 miles, 9.67 miles. Voltage is at 52 volts. When this motor gets going, it vibrates a little bit because it has so much power and torque. And so you'll almost hear the brake disc vibrating a tiny bit against the pads, but then it quickly goes away. And I think that's going to be inevitable. Yeah, if you guys can hear, as soon as I go, as soon as I throttle, you hear a little bit of a, almost like a tinging noise, almost like a metal rattling noise. And that's just the brake itself, the disc brake, rattling around, vibrating. Ghost pedaling, I mean, I got a little bit of resistance right now. You gotta really work for it though. I got resistance up to 30, but you guys saw my legs. They were going pretty quick. So even at a lower battery amount, still plenty of torque. Top speed definitely goes down a bit, but the torque is there, guys. So under load right now, 47 volts, and that's under voltage tag. So guys, final thoughts on this initial ride for the GhostCat F2.2 Pro. The torque, incredible. If you guys live around hills, this will be the bike you want. This thing will just eat them right up, especially considering it's 52 volts. You don't need something crazy, 60, 72 volts. It's a normal 52 volts. Which means you'll get a decent amount of range from the battery. Usually there's a trade-off with capacity and voltage, unless you just go with a huge heavy battery, and then there's the trade-off of weight. So it's always a balance, and GhostCat decided to give us a good medium range battery, 52 volts, you get that higher RPM in the motor, top speed of 33, 34 miles an hour, somewhere on there, not too bad, and the torque is unbelievable. If you guys value torque, this is the bike you want. Suspension is on another planet. The rear travel is unreal. It's unreal. It's crazy. There is so much travel in the rear suspension. I'm telling you, this is a mini Sur-Ron. This is a baby Sur-Ron. I call it that for a reason, because the back just has insane amounts of travel. You could probably jump this thing and it'll feel right at home. The front is still okay. Front is very respectable. Couple minor adjustments I would probably make to this bike. I would probably figure out how to get that front fender to stop rattling, stop smacking the tire and the frame. The riding position of this bike is slightly leaning forwards. It's a little bit more on the aggressive side. It's not the upright style that we've been seeing a lot. So the riding position is slightly more aggressive, which is better for handling, better for control. What I think I might also do is see if there are some options for increasing the handlebar height, and that way you can get that higher riding position, that more upright riding position. Although, be very careful, the front wheel will want to come up if you have weight shifted towards the back of the tire, because this thing has some torque, guys, especially if you're going up any kind of hill and you gun it with the throttle, that front wheel will want to come up. So just be careful with that. The brakes on this thing are out of this world. And the brakes are so good, in fact, I'm not even using the rear one. All I've been using for most of this ride, you guys saw me fall, is the front brake. Watch this. Look at that. The back lifted up. Oh my God. So in case you fall and you lose your rear brake, the front brake is plenty. This is crazy. These brakes are insane. If you guys ever mod this bike to whatever, go faster, or if you're a bigger rider and you need that stopping power, these brakes you're gonna be very happy with these brakes. Durability on this bike, excellent. This thing fell. Never fallen off an e-bike before, and that was a small little fall. That wasn't anything too crazy. I'm wearing gloves, a jacket, and everything. Nothing happened. We weren't really going that fast. But durability is great. You guys saw me fall on this thing, and this thing took it like a champ. Pretty much the front brake handle took it like a champ. I think I probably fell directly on that handle, and so no aluminum handle would have survived that. I don't fault this bike for having that handle break. I think for an out-of-the-box option for something that has great power, good torque, decent top speed, amazing suspension, amazing brakes, pretty good looks also. It's a pretty good looking bike. No fancy nonsense, no plastic bits that you have to pay for, no fancy display that you're not even gonna look at anyways. This bike gives you what you want, which is performance. If you guys like performance, which I know you do, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this channel, this is the bike to get. Look at this, going up this hill still, 20 miles an hour, and we're at a lower voltage, guys, under load. It's showing me 46 volts. That's pretty low, and we're still getting a good amount of torque.
So I was going to check the battery on the voltmeter, but after almost 18 miles of pushing this bike, the battery seemed to have been drained enough so that when I accelerated hard, it gave me a low battery error code. This was during a colder 40-degree day, so if you live in a warmer climate, you might be able to get more mileage. And on that note, for acceleration and top speed performance, the second day's 50-degree weather may have influenced my personal testing results, because GhostCat did tell me they tested this bike in the warmer California climate and told me they were consistently getting 0 to 20 times of under 5 seconds and top speeds of between 35 and 36 miles an hour.
Guys, this bike is listed in the comments below. Any discounts or coupon codes that I can offer you will be listed down there as well. And that's it for today, folks. If you guys like videos like this, please feel free to subscribe to the channel if I have earned your subscription. Like the video if you like it, and if you don't like it, tell me why in the comment. Let me know what you think about this bike in the comments. Would you buy it? What do you think of the high torque, slightly lower top speed motor? Is it worth it to you? What do you think about this bike overall? What do you think about how it looks? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Follow me on my Facebook groups. We have a lot of fun over there. That's it for today, folks. Until next time.